A very good afternoon to everybody. Very good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time of the day you're watching this video. I'm delighted to say that this is a brand new feature here on the Mark Hogan Weather on YouTube. Weather Talk by Mark Hogan, a series of interviews speaking to the professionals, to the passionate about weather, whatever you want to describe it. This is the new feature that I'm excited to bring you here on the channel. And I'm delighted to say that I am joined by Mr. Gavin Partridge. He will be starting off this new series. A very warm welcome to Gavin. Thanks for joining me, Gavin.
Hello there.
How are you doing, sir? You well?
So much for inviting me to your brand new feature. Very, very exciting.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Friend. Thanks for taking the time out your busy schedule to speak to me this afternoon.
No problem at all. That's no problem at all. I'm delighted to be here with all of you.
You having a good day so far?
Yes, it's been all right. You know, a bit busy, but not too bad.
Okay.
A slight little bit of pain. I had a little bit of a fall a few days ago, and I was on the magic water either. But I sort of fell and cracked. Well, I don't know if the ribs cracked, but I've got a bit of pain. So if I suddenly let out, that's the reason why.
We know what the problem is. Well,
I've been keeping it quiet. I've been keeping all of that quiet.
Certainly hope you get that sorted out soon.
It's just one of those things that's got to get better on its own.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Yes, not too bad at all.
How's the weather looking down where you are today?
So much invited me here. Yeah, not too bad. It's been a bit cold. It's been a frost last night again.
Right. Okay.
So we went through the winter really without any frost, didn't we? And then now we're having like cold nights now in place, but nice and bright. Yeah, not too bad at all. Yeah. But at least it stopped raining. Goodness to that.
It's just been constant, hasn't it?
Never ending. I don't know. Do you? I didn't tell you. It started in July, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think this is one of the longest wet runs that I can remember some pretty wet runs, like 2000.
Yeah.
That was a long run, wasn't it? Through the autumn and that.
Yeah.
But I think this is the longest continuously. I mean, we have had like the odd week or two here and there, like the beginning of September. First week, 10 days September, we had quite extended period of hot weather, as we always seem to then. But really, it's been continuous, hasn't it? In July, more or less.
Yeah.
So thank goodness we got a drier day today.
I think
the last few days, even when it looks like it's going to be a dry day, been tending to cloud over and start raining about 6 in the evening. So I'm not going to say, until we get to about 8, I'm not going to say that it's going to be a completely dry day here.
Yeah.
But I think it might be a completely dry day here. So it's a bit of a talking point.
Certainly based on. So we're recording this on Saturday the 20th
of April. Yeah. Would have been my dad's birthday today. It would have been 76.
Wow. Your mum's birthday, sorry.
No, my dad's birthday.
Your dad's birthday, sorry, I didn't hear you.
He would have been 76 today.
Is that right? Wow.
20th of April, 1948, he was born.
Yeah.
Always in the memory,
It's always difficult these wee times when birthdays come along, Christmas.
Yeah.
Father's Day, always a wee bit difficult, I think.
You always remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there we go. That's life, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Part of life is like losing people, isn't it?
Exactly. I know. It's always difficult, but it's always onwards and upwards, in my opinion.
That's right. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So, but yeah, so obviously this new feature is going to be a chance to get to speak to. I've got a few folk hopefully lined up to speak about just a little bit of a personal touch without delving too deep, and getting to know a little bit more about Gavin today. So going to fire Gonna fire a couple.
We'll see how much Gavin reveals. When I reveal all, I wonder.
Shove you a couple of pounds in your pocket,
Ooh.
Hold a knife under your throat.
Hang out. I don't know.
But quick couple of fire questions just for a little bit of fun to start things off with.
Okay, let's
so
we're out the way. That's better.
So yeah.
I'm wired, Mark.
So are you going to reveal
how old you are, headphones cut off halfway through, so I've got because these can work wirelessly. You see.
Right. Okay.
I don't want anything to go wrong, so I've actually got to mix into the USB. So that's why I'm wired.
So first and foremost, are you going to reveal how old you are, Gav?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah?
People know Gav's getting very, very old. So, no, I am. What am I? I'm 46, actually. 46? I'm a very young 46.
I was going to say.
I was born in 19. I was born on the 17th of October, 1977.
Right. Okay.
Heading on up towards 50.
I knew it was the late 70s, but I wasn't exactly sure what year it was.
Yeah, no, 77.
77.
I'm getting old. I'm hanging on to my 40s as long as I can. I think when I get to 50, I'm just gonna put a duvet over my head for the day and cry.
You're still a young chap yet, Gav. You're still a young chap yet.
Well, to be honest, I think I do look younger than 46.
Yeah.
I think I do. I've got pretty good genes. My mum always looked very young. Mm-hmm. All of her life, she looked much younger than she was. Mm-hmm. And I'm still holding on to my hair colour. Well, that's all natural dark. There's no...
You look younger than probably I do.
Just for men or anything going on. That's all. My dad, was naturally quite...
Right, okay.
Dark for most of his life. So I've got pretty good genes.
Yeah, I was going to say you've got a good head of hair, and you're not overly grey, in my opinion.
No, there's one or two little silver strands are appearing. Also, my hairdresser Jenna tells me.
Right, okay.
I've not noticed one myself. I try not to look, But I had my haircut like a couple of weeks ago. I said, "Is there any silver appearing?" I said, "Well, one or two strands, but." You're not doing too bad, Gav. She says, not doing too bad.
So we'll move on very briefly. So, where were you born?
I was born in Northampton. Actually.
Right, okay.
I live in Long Buckby.
Right.
Which is a village. Well, it's like a small town now, but 10 miles out. It's exactly 10 miles between Northampton, 10 miles from Rugby. So, from Northampton to Rugby, it's 20 miles, and we're right in the middle. So, 10 miles either way. But the local town is Northampton, with Northampton postcode.
Okay.
Although we're very close to the Warwickshire border.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, I was born in Northampton Hospital there, NGH. And I've spent more time than I would have liked to in that hospital ever since, actually. But no, Northampton.
Okay. And I take it you were born there, and you've spent more or less your whole life in that vicinity, then, yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I wish I could.
Long Buckby boy.
I wish I could say the same thing.
Oh right. Okay.
I've moved way too many times.
No, I like the thing. The nice thing about Long Buckby is so it's close to. But if you want to be a town life, bit of nightlife or shops and whatnot, then it's very close to that. We're very close to the motorway. Watford Gap.
Yeah.
And that. Yeah. We've got train. As well. I've got a train. We're on the main line from London to Birmingham. So, if you want, we've got the green, we've got fields and that, but we're very close as well to like urban life. Well.
Okay.
So it's just a nice balance. Actually, it's a very nice balance. I would recommend Long Buckby. If anybody wants, when you're in this area, it's a little plug for Long Buckby. If anybody's in the area. and they want to see a bit of green. You know, you've got a family and see the lands and that, and see the fields. Yeah. But they want to be close to town, be able to get basically anywhere in the country within 3 or 4 hours by the train and the motorway. You know, Longburn is an absolutely prime location. It's really nice location.
You're very central, aren't you?
Yes, very, very, very. You know, we're so basically, as I say, you can get anywhere from here within 3 or 4 hours. You go south, go north, go east.
Apart from Inverness. That's the way up in the top of the world.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm about 14 miles north of Inverness, actually. So.
Oh right, you're way north.
Almost opposite side of the country, actually.
Blimey.
But beautiful part of the world, I must say. But you know, 3.5 hours roughly gets you down to Glasgow.
You feel that northerly when the wind gets into the north, I bet.
Certainly. There's not much protection, put it that way. But anyway, moving on. What is your favourite drink and food?
Magic water, obviously.
Obviously.
No, the favourite. Probably tea, actually. Okay. I drink a lot of tea. Right. Take after my mother for that. My mother was a big tea drinker.
Right.
And I'm a big tea drinker.
Okay. Very good. And favourite food?
Yeah. Like cup of tea. It's got to be quite strong. Mm-hmm. I like quite a strong cup of tea. You know, not that much milk. And I don't have sugar. I used to have sugar. Right. I decided I'm sweet enough. You know, I'm sweet enough. So I don't need sugar. No, it's not good for you to have too much sugar. So I gave that up years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, tea would be my favourite drink.
Okay. And favourite food?
Oh, I like a nice roast, actually. I'm quite traditional.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice roast beef.
Yeah.
You know, roast chicken.
Yeah, lovely.
Nice vegetables.
Something nice and wholesome and a nice balanced meal.
Maybe a bit of Yorkshire pud if it's roast beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite traditional.
Yeah, I like that. So, what else? Have you got a favourite place?
Well, I would say home, really. I'm quite a home person, but probably because I went to New York in 2022.
Okay.
So that's the first time I've ever. So I've been abroad a few times, but that's the first time I've ever really travelled. You know, first time I've ever really travelled. So probably New York.
And that was your one and only time in New York, yeah?
Yes, that's right. Though I have said, I'll go back. There's a lot that I didn't get to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day.
It takes a while to see around New York. You'll never see all of New York in one visit.
That's right. No, but definitely.
Favorite color?
Oh, I don't know about a color. Maybe green.
Okay.
Maybe green.
Right, okay.
I quite like green. Years ago, this room used to be like more of a people. The GavsWeatherVids OGs will remember this room used to be more of a green colour.
Right, okay.
Like a pale pastel sort of green.
Very nice.
And then my mother wanted a change. She got fed up with that. She likes to have a change about every 10 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to annoy my dad, really. But she went for like this sort of pinky type, rich colour. But I'm going to decorate, because now it's just me. It's not really a man's colour scheme, So I've got to decorate. And if I decorate, I'll probably go back to like the pastel green.
Okay.
But then that means changing the furniture and the carpets.
Okay.
That's why I'm putting it off, but I will get round to it.
Because I think the thing is with something like that, when you start one thing, then you lead to another thing, and then
that's right. Yeah. My mother was the sort of person that would match everything up, the curtain, carpets.
Okay.
But the furniture, the wallpaper, everything would be matched nice. So if I do the wallpaper, then I've got to change everything, paint, carpets, curtains.
Yeah.
So it means a lot of expense. So I'll get round to it eventually, but it's one of those things I keep putting off.
Just one step at a time. That's the way I look at it.
That's right. Yeah.
One step at a time. I actually meant to say to you, by the way, and this isn't actually part of the questions, is so the house that you're in, were you? I take it you were brought up in that house. How long's that been the family home?
Yeah. Oh well, I've been here since 1985. Actually,
wow right.
I was 7. Where we lived in the top house at number 3.
Okay.
And then we moved down to the bottom house.
Right.
So I've been on this path where I am for all my life. I've been in this house since 1985. Wow. Not many people say that these days. People are much more nomadic and move around.
That's the way I feel. Like, I don't want to talk about myself. Is this about you? But like my mum and dad.
It's a conversation. It's a conversation, right?
Yeah. My mum and dad went into the Salvation Army.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I was born in Newry in Northern Ireland in 1983. And then, aged 4 years of age, we moved to London for a couple of years.
Right.
And so I moved away from Northern Ireland, went briefly back to Belfast, and then in 1990 we moved to Stirling in Scotland. And for the last 34 years, I've been here. So and I've like my parents, the last move they made, they're both down in Kirkintilloch, just north of Glasgow.
Right.
So they've been there since 2002. So they've been there 22 years this year, and I've probably moved about 6 or 7 times since they moved. So I've never been in one location any longer than 6 years.
Right.
So in some respects, interested and fascinated to experience different places, but there's a part of me that would love to experience what you have. You've been there since 1985.
That's a long time, isn't it?
It's a long time. It's a long time, my friend. But
seen some weather, I've seen some weather.
I certainly have.
Out those windows.
I bet. We'll move on to that in a while. So, want to start off? I want to ask you a question. Where did can you look back and pinpoint a time where you thought, I'm interested in weather? Where did your passion for weather begin?
Well, I was very young. I would have been, because I'm lucky that I grew up through the 80s winters.
Okay.
So I got to experience all of those 81, 82, 84, 85, 85, 86, 86, 87. I got to experience, I was just right to be growing up during that period. So I was alive for 79 as well, but of course I would have only been like one and a few months.
Yeah.
So I don't remember that winter, but I do remember vaguely. I've got memories of 81, 82. I can remember like the Christmas of 1981. There was snow on the ground and that. And I can remember. I used to. My dad was a builder, plumber. He used to work outside a lot. So he would always watch the weather on the BBC to see what the conditions were going to be like, for work. And so I would have been that winter 84, 85, I would have been 4, I think.
Okay.
And I can remember watching the weather with Dad, my father. And invariably it could be really cold or snowy.
Okay.
And whatnot. So I think that's where it started. And of course, lots of snow, kids love snow anyway. So it would be then around 81, 82. That's when I started getting interest. And then through the 80s, with cold winters. But the only thing was so we had the trilogy.
Yeah.
of freezing cold winters, 84, 85, 85, 86, 86, 87.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the trilogy came to an end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we got to 80s. So I've been brought up, you know, with the impression that
winters
British
were
winters were
naturally
nearly
cold.
always cold.
Yes.
Nearly always very snowy. And then, of course, we get to 87, 88. And that's really mild.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was crushed. My impressions were very, very brought down to earth. You know, that winter brought Gav down to earth with a bump.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the next one was really mild as well. Virtually snowless, wasn't it? 88, 89.
Yeah.
And then 89, 90. And I was like,
what's going on here? We've turned into a tropical climate.
yeah. And of course, those winters are really more typical, aren't they? Of our winters. And the cold winters that I was so used to with the 80s, they're the exception, really. So yeah, right. It brought me down, but nevertheless, you would have thought that the interesting thing is, you would have thought that when that happened, when the winters flipped, I would have lost the interest, but I didn't actually. I stuck with the interest, you know. So there must be something. I don't know within me, you know, that is drawn to that.
Yeah.
You know, if it was just the cold winters and just the snow, being the age that I was, you know, when the flip happened, which was about 10, I would have lost, you know, I would have lost interest, wouldn't I? And got interested in something else, but I didn't. I still had the love for it. So yeah, there must be something more, you know, within me. That's drawn to it. I think
it has to be. It has to be there, almost in your stomach, you know, because for me, you're kind of living and breathing the weather, no matter what it is, whether it's the middle of winter, middle of summer.
It's true.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I as you know, you were saying, we do our content all year round.
Yes.
Not just that we focus from, I don't know, November to February or something.
Yeah.
We carry on, don't we, all through the year. So there's a passion there, you know, that goes beyond whatever particular weather type we initially was brought us in.
Yes.
You know, the weather type that drew us in.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a passion that goes way, way beyond that.
Yeah. I think even the longevity of having, I think in this day and age with so many distractions, the longevity of both our passion, I think if it was one specific thing, you eventually lose interest in some way. But I think with us, that it's a part of us, our being.
I think so.
Weather, I think, is what drives you forward.
Like oxygen, you know, or whatever, like food or drink or oxygen.
Yeah.
You know, it's just very integral to who we are and the way we function as human beings, I think.
Yeah. Because I don't know about you, but like I work night shift, so I waking up early afternoon. One of the first things I do when I look at my phone is, what's the temperature outside?
Yeah.
You know,
I've got an iPhone, so yeah, I keep a close eye on the iPhone. So I'm not a fan of weather apps.
Nah.
But yeah, I used to have a weather station. You know,
did you? Right.
I used to record the weather. And well, I say station. Actually, how I started was just like with a rain gauge and a maximum mercury thermometer.
Okay.
You know, that was back in the 90s, the early 90s when I was a kid. You know, I used to take weather records. And then, of course, I developed onto a weather station, but I don't do that now. So as GavsWeatherVids has become like a job, you know, then that side of it, recording the weather, kind of fell away. I suppose because when I'm offline, I want to be thinking of something else other than weather, you know.
You need something to unwind and
That's right. Yeah.
And relax.
I've got weather records, going back to the early 90s for this area.
Oh wow.
I used to do when I was a lot younger.
Fascinating. Interesting stuff. So moving from interest to weather forecasting, tell me a little bit about how you took that step, that leap forward from being interested to actually forecasting the weather.
It's interesting because it evolved very organically. There was never a plan for any of this. So I first went on, it all started really, so I recorded the weather through the 90s. So that was that side of it. And then I went on, and I used to follow like the BBC forecast, and they used to do a really interesting forecast called Weather View. I don't know if they still do that now. It used to be on BBC Two at 5 to midnight, where they would go more in depth into the weather. And I was watching that. I was young. I shouldn't have been watching that. At like, I don't know, 12 or whatever. Should have been up at midnight. But I used to. A lot of times I'm recording, watch it the next day. Actually, I've got quite a lot of those weather views that I've recorded. But anyway, I used to watch that quite a lot. They go in depth. They went in depth into, global weather and the way El Nino, La Nina, some of the drivers of the weather. Though that sort of got me more interested into the way the weather works. And then around 2000, I went online, so we got the internet. Of course, everything's online, all the charts are online, etc. And then I started on the Weather Outlook forum. Lovely Brian Gaines. And his lovely forum. That was around 2000. And so the first forecast I started to do, actual forecasts, were just on the forum of the Weather Outlook on a Saturday. So when I do the weekend forecast now, whether for the weekend, weekend forecast, whatever, when I do it now, that's how it started. That's like so that video is like the original thing, the very beginning of everything. On the Weather Outlook forum, I would do a weekly Gavins fours, which were basically a weekend forecast. And that started in 2003. So during that really hot summer, I started doing like a weekly forecast back because I was on a dial-up connection then. So I'd be typing away on a Saturday morning, because this is what it's on a Saturday, as it still is. I'd be typing away, but if anybody called in, obviously the connection got cut off with a dial-up connection.
It's funny when
so
you
I'd
look
be
back
typing away, and often somebody would be ringing in, one of my mum's friends. But he would ring in and the phone would get cut off and I started again. So there's like, people probably remember, people go as far back as that. There are a few that are still with me after all this time. They would remember how bad the spelling of the punctuation used to be. I'd be typing away for as bad as I could, get it published. And then so that carried on through from like 2003 to 2012. And then I took the next step to try doing video forecasts, and that idea came from Simon Keeling. Well, Joe Bastardi was the originator. So Joe Bastardi did it before everybody. At AccuWeather. That was like an American focus forecast, whatnot. But Simon Keeling from WeatherWeb, he started doing, video forecasts as well.
I remember that.
And I was watching his videos through 2010, through the December to Remember. And they were epic, obviously. That's why it's with December to Remember. So I thought, well, this would be fun. This would be. I bet Simon's having I bet Simon's really enjoying this. I thought, well, I wonder whether I could develop that, and do like a video broadcast to go with the written broadcast being kept. So I was very, very shy and introverted. People wouldn't believe it now, but back then I was very shy and introverted. So it took me about a year after the December event to pluck up the courage to have a go.
Yeah.
And I think the very first weekend forecast I did, I started my original Gavin Partridge channel on New Year's Eve 2011.
Okay.
I created a channel. Yeah. And the very first forecast I did was with a little camera.
Yeah.
Like just a little camera. Yeah. And it was on the 7th of January, 2012. You cannot see that video. I was absolutely terrible. Really, really bad. The quality of the video from this little camera thing.
You realise that you want me to watch it now. Now that you say that, I'm like, I really want to watch that now.
No, it's gone. I deleted it. It was so bad. But it was like that's like the first step.
Yes.
So I took that initial first step.
Yeah.
And and then from there I just developed it a little bit more. I started about March 2012. I started upgrading. Well, I got an actual webcam then, a proper webcam.
Yeah.
And a microphone. It was all very basic, but that's how it started, And I was still pretty bad then, but gradually over time I got better. I got more confident. Also started GavsWeatherVids.com, of course.
Okay. So when did you start GavsWeatherVids.com?
That was in 2012. That was March 2012. Okay. Right. And then so I had the Gavin Partridge YouTube channel and GavsWeatherVids.com in 2012. And then in 2014 I created the GavsWeatherVids YouTube channel.
Okay.
To connect the brand to the website.
Yeah.
I moved the weather videos from my original channel. Although the videos that I did from 2012 2014 are still there, including through the one proper cold winter that the weather gods have given me so far, 2012, 2013. All those videos are still there.
Yeah.
And so 2014, that's in March 2014, I created the GavsWeatherVids YouTube channel. And it's been a journey, but it's all developed organically. So I just started off, playing around, messing about, and gradually over time got better. Yeah. And the channel expanded, particularly through lockdown.
Yeah.
When I started live streaming.
Right.
So I did some live streams in 2019.
Yeah.
Which were quite bad. It wasn't very good during those. So I sort of abandoned the idea of live streaming really for a little while. But then the lockdowns happened, 2020.
Yeah.
And I started live streaming 3 times a week then.
Right.
On a Wednesday, on a Friday night, and on a Sunday.
Yeah. That's a lot.
And the reason I did that was really because I knew that in lockdown people were going to be isolated.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's going to be indoors. People aren't going to be able to meet friends and whatnot. I knew it was going to be a bad time for everybody.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, one of the ways we could get a community feel is through live stream. That would be a good means of people being able to get together and that, even if it's online, not in real life, not in real life, but at least it give people a way of interacting.
Yes.
So I brought live streams back through the lockdown, and I started off quite poorly, made a lot of mistakes. Plunged 130 people into darkness one Sunday tea time in August 2020. Quite a few people remember that. I made my mistakes, but slowly but surely got better at doing that. And as I was doing those live streams, and I have to say a big thank you to my lovely friend Sav as well. Yeah. People remember Savvy, the furry one. He taught me a lot. He's a gamer, YouTuber, and he taught me a lot of the logistics of live streaming.
Okay.
And all the behind the scenes stuff that people will be very interested in, but very important, to be able to have a smooth stream and a successful stream.
Yeah.
So a lot of the success of GavsWeatherVids is actually down to my lovely friend Sam. But gradually I got better.
Yeah.
And it's been an organic journey.
Yes.
It's been an organic journey. And I'm very, very lucky and very, very privileged to be able to do this, to a point now where I actually earn a living from this, the advertisement and from channel memberships. Thank you so much to our amazing channel members.
Yes.
And the donations we get on the live streams. I'm actually able to earn a nice little bit. I mean, it's not a huge amount of money, but it's enough for me to be able to carry on doing this. So I'm very, very lucky and very, very privileged to be able to do that. And it's all happened. There's never a plan. In 2012, I never knew that I would be in this position in 2024. So it happened organically and naturally. And I think that's the way that things do. That's the best way for things to develop. Yeah. I think you just start and see where it goes. Yeah. I could have packed up when I did that first video on the 7th of January 2012. I could have at that point, because I was so bad, I could have just said, "Well, I won't bother again." But I carried on. I persevered, and that's it. That's the journey that I've been on. So many people have been on the journey with me. It's been absolutely incredible. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm so lucky and so privileged.
I would like to take this opportunity to a massive congratulations to you for the success that you've had with GavsWeatherVids. You've done a terrific job.
Oh, thank you so much.
And it's very, very well earned.
I mean, if I was starting now, the fact that it's GavsWeatherVids, that tells you that it wasn't a serious project at the start.
Okay.
That because it's such a mouthful. Even I have a job. People probably notice when I'm saying, in fact, tuning into GavsWeatherVids. Yeah. I very often have a job to get GavsWeatherVids out. It's such a mouthful to get that out in one go. So if I was starting out, I would probably know what I know. I'd probably call it something like the Weather View, or whatnot. With like a double meaning, something more sensible. But I just started it as like a bit of fun. That's how the name GavsWeatherVids came about. Just as a bit of fun, and gradually, it stuck and developed. And honestly, I'm so lucky. So privileged.
I think it's unique to you. I like GavsWeatherVids because I think it's your channel. It's a niche to you that
GavsWeatherVids.com. But it is a little bit. It's a little bit. At times, even I struggle to get GavsWeatherVids. GavsWeatherVids out. So yeah. But I just can't say how appreciative I am. So appreciative of the support that people have given to me and to the channel, to the project concept, and helping me to evolve with this to the point where we have people, our channel members who are giving us £4.99 a month. Yeah. And we've got channel members going back years that have given that support to me. And I'm so appreciative. You've worked, so very, very appreciative.
You've worked very hard, and obviously that's paying off. The hard work and commitment, and it's a big commitment to run a YouTube channel, a business, day in and day out. Do you take a day off, or?
Sometimes it feels like I don't. Sometimes no, I do. I do in the summer. Well, anytime around now through to the summer, I have a few days off. But from the peak time, on my channel is always from September through to about January, sometimes February, not this year because but in February, like in 2018, the interest in that winter was late on with beach swimmings and that. So yeah, the peak time is September to February, and then I go for except 2022 when I went to New York in December, and I did that because I had a really terrible year. You know, I'd lost my mum, and I'd had a mouth cancer as well, and I just had a really bad time in 2022. So at the end of the year, I thought, well, I'm just gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna do something completely spontaneous and completely crazy. I'm just gonna get on a plane, go to New York with a friend, and that's what I did. But that's a one-off, you know. That's an exception. Generally from like September through to January, February, it's every day, and sometimes it's like all day every day. Sometimes I could be doing like 5, 6 videos have not been unknown. You know, if the scenario warrants it, if it got very cold weather imminent, or there's snow, you know, do snow watches as well as all of the regular stuff. So yeah, I'm full. I'm completely full through that period. But this time of the year, I do get to sort of ease off on some of the content. The additional, you know, the add-on videos and whatnot, and I'll be having a few days off, I would imagine. Of course, in the winter, if there's illness, then that's different. Then you know, so I do suffer with migraine. This last winter, I had to have a few days off with migraine and whatnot. But that's kind of different, isn't it? So actually taking the day off and going off somewhere. I don't do that in the winter, you know, not very often.
Yeah. So what does Gav do to relax then? Do you have hobbies? Anything that you enjoy?
Yeah, I got the garden. Got quite a nice garden, but I never used to really bother with gardening at all. But my dad was a big gardener. You know, he gardened all the time, and I've inherited the garden, so I do that. I'm a bit of Star Wars fan. Original George Lucas Star Wars. I hasten to add, not the Disney stuff. I do like a bit of Star Wars. I like film generally. Actually, I do go to the cinema sometimes. Often. Yeah, but when you're doing this job, you know, it is quite difficult to switch off from it. Because you're online, so a lot of people would switch off by going online, but my job is online. So and like you've always got continuous model run. So particularly with GFS, which is 4 times a day. And there's always that sort of pull, that sort of pulling you in to. Well, wonder what the next model run is showing. I wonder, you know, wonder what the GFS is showing at, I don't know, 200 hours or whatever, you know. So, and then you've got all the long range stuff as well, the long range charts. So, I wonder what this latest suite from Copernicus is showing. Or I wonder what Beijing Climate Centre is showing this month. You know, and so. And it's very difficult to switch.
That's where you live and breathe the weather. That's where it shows the root of the passion, I think.
That's right, definitely.
The pull. I always find when an extreme weather event taking place, snowstorm, a particular noteworthy event, it's hard to not, like, I've seen myself during hurricanes staying up the whole night just to watch the progress.
Oh yeah, I've done that. Well, not so much recently, but when I was younger, you know, I did. I would love to watch, you know, like webcams.
Yes.
I remember watching the Times Square webcam. Was it Hurricane Sandy? But back to New York. I was watching that feed, you know. right through the night.
Yeah,
but I was younger then.
Yeah.
I can't go all night now. Gav can't go all night now, really. But I could bet.
The final question to ask you, Gavin, is there a specific winter, summer, or event? Is there something specific that stands out as a highlight of memory to you, weather-wise?
Well, I suppose it's really got to be the 80s winters, given that's what started me off and drew me in.
Okay.
So probably the 80s winters. It's very difficult to pick out a specific winter because they all have their own individual, their own individual characteristics and things that happen with them. So I can remember in 1985 there was a unforecast. They're always, you don't get them now.
Right.
But back then we had like a unforecast snow event. It was a real snow event. I think it's in February of 1985. But there was a low pressure coming in against a block to the east. And it had been predicted, but it was just rain, maybe a bit of sleet mixed in. But there was an undercut of very cold air that was sitting over the low countries. The front didn't get in. It was just supposed to push through very quickly, but the front stalled as it came up against this block of cold air that undercut from the low country, and that turned the rain to snow. So it started off as rain. I remember I think it was a Friday, around the middle of the day, in the early afternoon, and it gradually turned more and more towards snow through the afternoon. And by the end of the afternoon into the evening, it was snowing really heavily. It carried on snowing all night. So the next morning, it was like waist deep for me as whatever I was then, 8 years old, whatever. It was like waist deep to me, So it proper drifts as well. So where we are in Long Buckby, as you go out towards Northampton to the A428, it's quite a high road. And we used to get like drifts that would go over the top of the hedgerows.
Okay.
Again, we very rarely see that now. There'll be that one. Of course, the 87 freeze up as well. I remember that. One of our patio door fell off. The ice underneath door lifted up when my brother opened the door. God knows why. We was trying to open the door when the temperature outside was about -5 or something. He did that. He opened the door and it sort of lifted up off the of whatever it's called when it sits on and dropped off. Luckily, we've got like a deep snow cover, so that cushioned it, so the door didn't shatter. But there was that one. Of course, the freeze of February 1991 as well. So that was an incredible freeze up. December to remember. It's so difficult to pick out one, isn't it? December to remember. And I haven't better give the impression I'm only so. So, of course, got 40 degrees.
Yes.
That's probably the most recent one.
Yeah.
That incredible, absolutely phenomenally hot day where we reached 40 degrees. And, I went to Tenerife last year. So I have experienced heat like that since then. But for this country, I've never experienced a day like that. It was so hot. And the strange thing with that is that it was so windy as well. It's like I opened, so I had like all the doors shut. Because if it reaches that temperature, if you open the doors and windows, you just import the heat in. So all the doors were shut, the curtains were closed. Through the middle part of the day and into the afternoon. But I did open the back door at about 2 in the afternoon. And as I open the door, it's just like opening an oven, a fan-assisted oven. When you open the door, you get that push, that blast of hot air that comes out of the oven. It was just like that, just like that. Not to the same intensity, of course. No one can get to 200 degrees, but it's the same effect. Open the back door and the rush of the heat with the wind.
Yes.
That was a really bizarre thing about that day. You will think that to get to that kind of temperature, it would have to be the air would have to be very still. But that was a really windy day, and I suspect if we hadn't had that wind, I suspect we would probably have got to 41, maybe 42 degrees that afternoon, because I think the potential was there, from the rest of the soundings, upper air temperatures and whatnot. So that wind probably limited. As far seems bizarre to say 40 degrees would be limited, but that wind probably limited the temperature a little bit actually that afternoon. But it was extraordinary, was an extraordinary day. And again, the disappointing thing about that is that when it started to cool down, there was no storms with that. So that's one of the strange things about how hot the summers have been getting. Well, not necessarily the summer, but although that was a very hot summer from start to finish, from June, the first heat wave in June. The first heat wave occurred on the day of my mother's funeral, 17th of June, 2020. That's the first hot day of the summer, really. But it was consistently hot right way through the July and also the August as well. But the other more recent summers, they've been having these intense heat spikes. Without, being sustained for months on end heat. But none of them ever seem, or in this area, none of them, or very rarely do they ever seem to end up in, the really good thunderstorms. But I remember from the 1990s summers. So in the 1990s summers, we used to get, like 2 or 3 hot days. We thought they were hot days. They were like 32, 33. We thought back then, in the 90s, we thought they were hot days, They're nothing compared to the 37, 38, 39 that we get now.
It's happening almost every few years. The kind of 37, 38. The ceiling's kind of rising a little bit. Year by year, I think.
But those 90 summers, although the heat wasn't as intense, the spike intensity wasn't as intense, they seemed to have better thunderstorms, I think, when they broke down. Whereas now we get the intense heat. Then we'll probably get like a cold front that comes across, but it's a weak affair, brings a bit of cloud, a few spots of rain, and just low temperature. I suspect the reason for that is that the heat is coming from further south. So in the 90s, I think the heat, it was Spanish plume, classic. And these heat spikes are also Spanish plumes. But they also come from even further south than Spain. They're coming from like Saharan Africa. So I think that makes the air drier. And I suspect, I don't know, just my suspicion that when the air is coming from like Saharan Africa and whatnot, then the air is going to be drier, and so there's less potential for classic fungi breakdown. But it is interesting the way that day worked out. 40 degrees was. I mean, since 2003, we'd always been speculating that we'd get to 40 degrees at some point, and it was inevitable, I suppose, that with the heat spikes we're getting, that been getting to 38, 39. It was inevitable that in the end we would tip over. To 40, but it seems to take a long time. There just seems to be something that, whether it's the seas around the country, that just stops going that extra level up the ladder. But I suppose it was inevitable that we would get to 40 degrees. But the day that it actually happened was an extraordinary,
remarkable,
extraordinary day.
It seemed to kind of almost come from my own understanding and memory of it. It kind of came almost out of nowhere, though, didn't it? Because we've seen it. I know this is going back a little bit, but 2015 was a very mixed summer, but we had that tremendous heat spike. It kind of
That's right. That was the first one. That was the first one that started off the summers with the heat spike.
And it kind of came and went. As quick as it arrived, it disappeared again.
That's right, And then 2016, that was quite cool early on, but got really hot at the end. And we had for September, we had a phenomenal heat wave where it got to about 34 degrees. September 2016.
I remember that.
2017 was much more mixed. Had quite a warm June, but rest of the summer sort of fell apart. Maybe 2018 was very hot, of course, July and August. 2019 was a mixed summer, but had a big heat spike in July, when I think it got to 38 or 39. And then 2020, that was a bit of everything, but there was some real heat in that. 2021 was mixed. Can't remember if we had a heat spike in 2021. We may not have done. I can't remember. Somebody will know in the comments.
I get a wee bit mixed up with what year's which.
yeah. I can't remember if we had a heat spike in 2021. And then, of course, had 2022. And that's just extraordinary. But the thing about that is, although it did come on quite suddenly, but there was a GFS run with that appeared on a Sunday it was at 384 hours. And this GFS run was showing 40 degrees. And I did a video and I said, I'm going to include this because it's just for posterity. Don't worry, it won't happen. 384 hours away. The GFS is never right at 384 hours.
It's the fact that
its temperature forecast. Don't worry, this won't. That's my Michael Fish moment, really, in a way. I said, don't worry, this won't happen, but we've got to show it because I've never seen 40 degrees predicted on a temperature, prediction before. So there it is, 40 degrees. And this video is for posterity, and, it's there to show that it's physically possible. But it won't happen. Over 2 weeks later,
famous last words.
It happened. That's the only time. That is the first and only time I can remember. And it pretty much stuck with me as well, because GFS normally flip flops all over the place. But with that, it pretty much stuck to it. So it really was a one-off situation. Well, I say one-off, it might happen again at some point. But the way the whole thing developed was very unusual, very different.
Amazing. Well, listen, Gavin, I think we'll call it a day at that. But listen,
it's been lovely. Thank you so much, my friend.
A massive thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
No problem at all. I don't do many interviews. I don't. The number of interviews I've done over the years, I probably count on one hand. But I do enjoy doing that, and I should do more. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you.
Good luck. Congratulations with your channel. First of all, your channel's doing absolutely incredibly well.
Thank you.
Keep a close eye on it, and you're just the bee's knees, my friend. You're absolutely great at what you do. And good luck, with this new feature. I think it's going to be really, really good for the channel, and I think you're going to have some amazing interviews, and you're going to be talking to some incredible people over the next few weeks and months and whatnot. So yeah, you deserve all of the wonderful things that are coming your way, Mark. Thank you so much for inviting me, my friend.
Thank you. Certainly, be sure to. I'll leave a link in the description below, everybody, for Gav's channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm sure most
people share, subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends and family, your neighbour, your doctor, your vicar, and if you dare, you could always tell your mother-in-law to subscribe. And who would want to watch GavsWeatherVids with their mother-in-law? So much everybody.
And if everybody enjoyed this interaction between Marky Boy and Gav, the Gavmeister, let us know in the comments section below. I'm sure Gavin will be checking out the comments section below as well. And this might be the beginning of a wee feature between the two of us at some point. Who knows? We'll
definitely do more collaboration.
We shall leave it at that anyway.
100%.
And Gav, does live streams every Sunday at 6
At the moment, we're week on a Sunday at 6 p.m. Yeah.
So certainly be sure to check that out as well. And thanks very much, Gavin, for your time.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me.
You have a good one, my friend.
You too. And thank you so much to everybody for watching.
Yes.
Like and share it. And I hope I haven't gone on too much. Once I get going, I do get going, No, I haven't bored anybody, but thank you so much, Rod. It's been amazing.
You've not bored anybody, my friend.
So much, my friend.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back next time with Weather Talk by Mark Fogan. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.